Beautiful Loudoun County, Virginia, and Segra Field plays host to the number 3 team in the Atlantic Division and the side trying to make the way up the standings. It's Loudoun United taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and tonight's telecast is presented by Segra. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Loudoun's record is not all that enticing right now, but the good news is, Dev, they come off a 4-1 win, much needed against Indy 11.
You talk to any coach around the USL Championship, they will tell you, do not sleep on Loudoun United. And last time out, they were absolutely stellar from start to finish in their match. So much so, yeah, that was a pretty big lead, and it was a sweet, sweet victory. Largest margin of victory this season, and historically, not too bad either. Remember, this is a team ending the 2019 season that went on a run of their own. If they had one game, they might have been able to squeak into the playoffs. Is this now the turnaround for them in 2021 to get them going?
Couple of goals for Samson Sergi, too. How about the Rowdies' records over the past couple of years, first half, second half?
There's a lot to digest here. Number one, defensively, it gets better as the season goes on, right? The question is, offensively, can they now turn it up? That's going to be what we're going to try and find out here in the second half of the season. You're getting players back. Dos Santos, finally healthy. Jan Ekra running the midfield. M. Kasana back in. Lawrence Wyke back in. Still no Fernando. Juan Tejada in the mix. Offensively needs to be better. Could be the best line in all the USL Championship, though, on the backside.
Meanwhile, Devin, there were a wide number of puns considered for this graphic, but we'll make it simple. It's 100 games tonight for Neil Collins.
That's the man right now. The knighthood that's spreading around the Bay Area. The Tampa Bay Rowdies, is he underappreciated around the USL Championship?
Of course he is.
100%. Don't think this man gets enough respect for what he's done. Just the simple fact that this team couldn't win a road game, yet alone make a run at a title. He's turned everything around. He is now the king that leads this team. Can they go back-to-back in the Eastern Conference?
So will Loudoun kneel before Collins and the Rowdies tonight? See, another pun. We've got Loudoun and Tampa Bay matching up in the Atlantic Division. Lineups and kickoff when we return to Segra Field.
Download the new Loudoun United app to stay up to date during the 2021 season. Receive team news, roster updates, ticket specials, contests, and more delivered directly to your device.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
If you were injured tomorrow, the ER may not be your best option. At Ortho Virginia, we can treat urgent orthopedic injuries without an appointment and diagnose non-urgent injuries virtually through video visits. Take the first step toward recovery, because stronger starts here.
Loudoun's record is not all that enticing right now, but the good news is, Dev, they come off a 4-1 win, much needed against Indy 11.
You talk to any coach around the USL.
Welcome back, everybody. It is closing in on kickoff. Tonight's match is presented by Segra. Loudoun United taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies in Leesburg, Virginia. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Loudoun Economic Development. For Loudoun United, They've made 3 changes: Montes Dioca, Pinto, and Sergi out.
Quite curious to see how this actually plays out on the field. They turned in a 4-2-3-1, but I don't see that happen with the defensive playmakers that they have. Guys on the outside willing to step into the final third. Guys like Jacob Green and Sadavia. I see this sitting more as a 5, absorbing some pressure, working through the legs of Kuda Pietro and Osu in the midfield. Of course, Nicky Downs sitting underneath, controlling the tempo with plenty of speed and playmaking ability, and Bolivar and Kimarni Smith up top. The Tampa Bay Rowdies and Neil Collins, they make 3 changes of their own. Guenzati back onto the front line with Dos Santos, who is sitting on 49 regular season goals, looking to join the 50 club. Doherty paired next to Lewis Hilton, and Jan Ekrup just in front. The adaptability of their midfield has to get better as this season goes on.
We're ready to go here in Loudoun County. Loudoun in red and Tampa Bay in highlighter yellow. Underway on a gorgeous evening outside Washington, D.C. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr for the call. This will roll calmly behind Timmy Mell, picked up by Jermaine Forda. Loudoun 17 points out of playoff position, but most of their losses have been by a single goal. Their wins this year are good ones: at New Mexico, at home against Pittsburgh, and now at home against Indy 11. But you would argue, Devin, if they find a win tonight, it's their best of the year.
100%. The issue that Loudoun usually run into, Mike, is the totality in performance. They start really strong. They'll give you 55, 60 minutes of quality football, and then that starts to fade down the stretch. Now, some of that has to do with age, experience, but for me, it is everything grouped together in decision-making. And when you come up against a stout opponent, seasoned veterans like Forrest Lasso on the back line, Jan Ecker in the middle, and Guenzati up top, you can't make those mistakes down the stretch, whether you're at home or away. And that has been a main issue for them. But as we talked about in the open, this team can run and gun it with the best of them.
There's a foul from Lewis Hilton. Can they bring the best here tonight? Nicky Downs finds Sadavia. 3rd season at Loudoun. Sadavia again, the 20-year-old right back from Alexandria, Virginia. Mell. Cleared out. This is a throw deep in the attacking half for Loudoun United, and they're going to play quickly. This will find Dos Santos. Space to explore out here for Jordan Doherty. This is a good-looking run forward. Guenzati rolls that across and tapped wide. Great first attacking foray here for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That's Antley getting forward. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Ortho Virginia, the official sports medicine partner of Loudoun United FC. Loudoun not reporting any injuries. Fernando Deon Harris unavailable for the Rowdies.
Could throw Leo Fernandez into the mix as well. Leo. Short term for both he and Deon Harris. Like maybe in the next couple of days, might be able to get back into the swing of things. Of course, as we mentioned, Jan Nekra feels like they're right there on the full 90 for him.
This is struck from a long way out. That's no trouble for Laurel.
Lucky Kasana, Montahada, and Dos Santos, though they're progressing along. It was interesting listening to Neil Collins talk to me about, I should say us, Mike, excuse me, talk to us about how difficult it is to balance players coming back, making sure that you're getting them the right amount of minutes to, prolong their bodies and get them match fit, while also maintaining the chemistry within the team when you're starting to get back onto a run. I don't envy his position. Now, the counter argument to that would be, well, yeah, but we're getting all of our players back. And one of the arguments I've made for this team the entire season so far, that quick start, 5 in a row. Are they ever going to lose a game, right? And then all of a sudden, those results started to fade a little bit to the tune of 3 losses in a row. Everybody goes, oh my God, the wheels are off. No, they're just not very deep. And when you're playing that many games and that rapid of succession, it's very difficult to manage the workload of players in general, yet alone ones that have been around the league, maybe a little bit longer in the tooth. It's not easy.
Well, and depth is relative, right? How many teams in this league can go down 2, 3, 4 forwards, still feel like they can compete for a league championship? Perhaps better to get those out of the way in the early going. Green. Rolls that back to Camarney Smith. Now Hosu. The Shields slots back into the back line tonight alongside Mel. Those two have started now 9 games together. Doherty kept this. Loro. Well, we see Giovanni Bolivar find his way immediately into the fixture. That was a big missing piece for a while now. Just his 11th appearance of the year, 4 goals. Ryan Martin's dealt with plenty of issues of his own. Some are good problems to have, like Jeremy Garay being called into El Salvador, which, as Devin might argue, is the latest of many holding midfielders in their arsenal.
It's stout. I mean, they run deep at the 6 and 8 spot. I give them credit there.
Some teams say you can only start 2 of those at a time.
That's
El Salvador
not the case.
challenges.
They run 5 and 6 deep in the 8 spot. Their midfield in general is underrated. In the back line with the outside back position, not too shabby either, but the center backs keep up. And Zabaleta right there. And the boys up top. Garay is an excellent addition.
Sadavia back to Forda. Antley. Doherty. Guillen. Lasso. Looking forward, Dos Santos slices this back well. Guinzotti rolls wide. Antley. So got a piece. Didn't destroy the attack, but certainly hampered it. Tough by Hilton. Dos Santos. The hold-up play he's known for. Slithers over the top of the 6. There's a nice fluidity to Tampa Bay's attack thus far when they get into the final third.
Some interesting decisions, though, and outside of the one chance that started right off the bat. The ball just now, Mike, you get into those situations. I've used this phrase before, that just because you can play a ball doesn't necessarily mean you have to.
Bad giveaway leads to an opportunity for Loudoun. And a goal kick in the end. It's a bit of a letdown here for Cudi Pietro and Loudoun United.
And that was one of the ones that I'm referencing, though. Good little combination play. Ball gets down into the channel. Got an opportunity to swing a ball across, but there's no support on the inside. Step on the ball, bring it back. See if you can pick out an alternate option. We had some right at the top of the 18.
Accra. Dalgard. Dalgard got a cross away and got clipped as well. You know, Dev, some of the issues that, this is years and years ago, it's not really comparable to the current Rowdies team at all.
Winning on the road.
The winning on the road issues were going to turf fields, playing on baseball fields. They were just never entirely comfortable with that, and that's one of the things that Neil Collins sort of forced out of the mentality of this team, the idea that, well, you're not all that comfortable in certain places. He doesn't care if you're comfortable or not. You still have to perform.
No, and I think you're being kind that it was the turf fields and that it was some of the baseball fields. I think they struggled in general on the road. Most Rowdies fans would tell you that this team at home, they were unstoppable at Outlang.
Yep.
When you go back to that 2017 squad and really into 2018, that it was, you know, the Joe Cole, of course, Georgi Ristov was still there, right? You had world-class talent, mind you, on the back end of their careers as well, but Marcelo Schaefer running the midfield, and yet putting up 3, 4, 5 goals at home, blanking teams in ridiculous fashion too, literally running them off the field. And then they go away and they get smacked around. That doesn't happen anymore, though. That's a change of identity where you really took what was already in place, tweaked it, added some blood of your own, and now all of a sudden you're feared, right? It's not run and gun. It's not, okay, we got to defend. How do we find a way to break them down? It's, can we survive a game against the Rowdies for 90 minutes? That's what Neil Collins has done for this club.
Well, he's only seen his defense concede 15 goals in 18 games, which has become a good trademark to have. Big reason why they're the reigning Eastern Conference champions. Coup di Pietro. Tees this up nicely. Downs with a blast. This bounces in front of goal. Loro came out. It was never going to count. Offside flag had gone up. Dambrot getting forward. A bit more direct this time. You have to do better than that to beat Defensive Player of the Year in Forrest Lasso. Zadi dropping in. Scarlett.
They've dropped in Coup di Pietro as well, just underneath Marnie Smith and Giovanni Bolivar. It's finding it very difficult to pick out the players on the inside. Guys like that man right there, Lewis Hilton, the conductor of this entire midfield, moving back to front. More importantly, the link-up play. It's one thing to come to the interior, pick out one of your holding midfielders. It's another that then take the next step through, finding someone like Jan Ecker or Guenzade dropping into the pocket. So what you're seeing is a lot of side to side, just looking very patiently for that opening moment where they can step through a much quicker sequence into the final third. Give this Loudoun team enough time to sit behind the ball. They are composed enough defensively that can reorganize quite quickly. It's the quick springing attack that is more likely to break them down.
Careful there, security. There's young Jacob Green, 18, from Crofton, Maryland, has already surpassed number of minutes played in 2019, number of minutes played in 2020. Marks the 28th appearance for Green. Given away to Dalgard. A lot of Rowdy jerseys in the final third. A stumbling effort forward from Antley. Ricochets out. It is a corner for the Rowdies. This corner kick is brought to you by Loudoun Economic Development, a team that's always in your corner. Devin,
It's
quiet.
not mine. It's
No?
not mine. Kid doesn't cry like that. He screams, you know that by now. And it's in the middle of the night.
Hilton. Taken out of the air by Doherty.
him in a couple of like that seasons past. He had one last year from outer space would probably not be doing it justice considering how well he struck that ball.
From a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, yeah.
15th minute, scoreless here. It's number 15, Nikki Downs, on the ball. Rowdies with a win would move into a tie for first atop the Atlantic Division alongside Pittsburgh, who won 4-1 over the weekend. There's a high likelihood that if you stick around for halftime, we'll show you how that happened.
Connor Antley, just a little shout going for us. He's going to center back step up a little bit, come off the long throw.
See how much juice Antley can provide here. He's got Lasso in the middle of the penalty area. Antley, Lasso. Bypasses Zekra. The race is on. Green. Couple of options. Bolivar, it wasn't meant for him. Marnie Smith off target.
They're fun to watch. I'll give them that much, Loudoun United. They are fun to watch, especially in transitional moments. There's just an understanding, and you can hear it from the sideline. Just drop the gear and go. Pedal to the metal, 100 miles an hour the other direction. Made reference to coaches around the USL Championship, Mike, watching Loudoun United and really carrying a lot of respect for them because of the fact that they're so direct and yet efficient. When you watch them build in that fashion, easy for them at top speed to still connect the dots.
Is there a more experienced team in the league that you think plays similar to how Loudoun goes about it? Or are they more unique?
Not all around. No, there are times where you can make references, but Loudoun just, for the most part, they want to drop the hammer, and they want to do it often. You know, whether they're sitting in a three-back, if they're dropping 5 into the wings, you go 4-2-3-1, seen a 4-3-3 out of them as well. Everything is transition and as quickly as possible. They want to unbalance their opponents. They want to make sure that if they're not pressing, they're pushing you into an uncomfortable situation. Ryan Martin is so good at finding ways to get the best out of the players that he has available for his selection, because those pieces do rotate, that relationship with DC United. So you get a player like Jacob Green, who's playing on the right wing back spot, who primarily lines up on the left side at left back. You know, Robbie Dambrot, who is next to Michael DeShields and Timmy Mel right now. Mel is basically running the inside, and so they're fluctuating from a 4 to a 5. But Dambrot's still willing to step up in. And they need that balance in situations like that when you run up against teams like the Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight, where they're basically conceding the outside possession. They've said, Guillen, Scarlett, you guys can have it. Can't have the ball back to get this game going again, but you can have possession on the outside, because all they're trying to do is absorb that pressure and then bounce the other way. Find Kuda Pietro, Bolivar, or Kamarni Smith as quickly as possible. You were the kid that didn't give the ball back, by the way.
I never got that lucky.
He's on the bench.
Bolivar steers this in his own path. Slid away from him. The shot saved by Laurel. Green chases. Got out over the line. Corner. Green unloaded on this.
We said that Neil Collins isn't appreciated enough. How about Evan Laurel? Because in traffic, this is actually a very difficult save, but technique is perfect. It's a really good opportunity for Jacob Green. And notice, this would be real simple, Mike, for him to hit it as hard as humanly possible, spray it up over top of the bar. Instead, great technique in his own right. Head down, little bit of spin on the ball, just put it on frame and make the goalkeeper make a save.
This corner kick is brought to you by Loudoun Economic Development, a team that's always in your corner. Open on the back post, and it broke down. There were 5 Loudoun shirts stretched across the 6-yard box. And now a foul from Hosu. Ekra. What a slide in by Hosu, who's immediately atoned. Hilton after the defensive intervention by Lasso. We talk a lot about Forrest Lasso's follicles. We rarely talk about his name. Perfect for a defender.
We listen to our boys over on the west coast of Florida, Trufelios, Ryan Davis. They make reference to it all the time.
Oh,
the lumberjack and
well, yeah,
the puns are there.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do disservice and get in the way of things that have already been said. Just come up with something brand new, right?
Makes sense.
I do like the shape in the midfield for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and what admittedly Neil Collins chatting with him, they're searching right now. You know, it's difficult, the navigation that is, because of the injuries and the form and what have you, where you're going from flat in the middle, you bump into your attacking midfielder role, which we've seen in that 3-5-2 so many times before. They'll play 3 on the front line and spread it out like they did against Red Bull a couple of games back. Right now, Lewis Hilton, Ekra, and Doherty really sitting in an inverted triangle, but it's a good little step on the right side. Ekra really fluctuating to the left, so Doherty willing to step up in, and then what happens is Guenzati comes inside, almost creates a diamond of sorts. It's very difficult to play through the inside for Loudoun United. Just so many jerseys closing down all these small passing lanes that, although they're only there for a brief moment. And even if you are able to get it through, there's great marking on the backside as it does push through the center locations.
Guenzati, ball fell kindly to him, pushed off by Mel. Guenzati, wonderful turn, brought down by Hosu. Free kick, 20 yards from goal, straight on. Oh no, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. The ref edge is out. Also a free kick.
The hold-up play by Dos Santos shouldn't be understated that Guenzati can hold it up himself. Great job just at the top of the 18. 4 different players around him, just trying to bide himself some time in hopes that one of his players can step up and help out. Instead, the opposition gifting them an opportunity at the top of the 18. And pick your poison in these situations. The conversation between those 4 masterminds at work inside 25 minutes.
Quite the collection of ball striking talent. It'll be Hilton or Guenzati. Forda is ready. Guenzati steps over. It's Hilton! Lewis Hilton with a magnificent blast in the 23rd minute, and the Rowdies lead on the road.
You can hear what it means to him as well, Mike. The scream to the hilltops for Lewis Hilton. His first of the season. And for the set piece specialist, coming across the body into the bottom corner. Jermaine Forda screened the entire time. Just a little pinch off there by Dos Santos. 5 in the wall, but really 8 with the Rowdies players. That's why you bring him in. It's not just the distribution in the midfield. It's his ability to pick out those finite moments and spaces and put his team out in front.
First of the year comes after over 1,500 minutes of gameplay. 27-year-old from England. Got this ball forward, and Dos Santos chasing that 50th goal.
Not only his first of the year, Mike, think about the fact that The last time we saw Lewis Hilton stick one in the back of the net was with St. Louis FC. He has not done it in a Tampa Bay Rowdies jersey just yet. Finally gets the breakthrough, and he's been so important to this team all year long. You know he's quality on the inside. But when you look at everybody else around him, Guenzati sitting on 9 goals, the big name signing of Dos Santos. He's got Leo Fernandez on the outside. Little help from Connor Antley and Dalgard in certain situations. I mean, literally at every single level, it's easy to overlook him. Don't.
Chance here, Guenzati. And now the Rowdies are starting to feel themselves a bit after Hilton scores his first goal in 2 years and 4 days' time.
Guenzati's mic'd up into the box, understood that we were talking about him, didn't like it. Just said, hey, hey.
Nice free kick, Lewis.
Yeah, don't forget about me right now. Watch what I can do. Looking for his double-digit number in terms of goals, sitting on 9.
Well, let's go back to the St. Louis FC days. Anthony Pulis was blown away that Hilton was still available coming out of Charlotte. Spent 2 really quality seasons at St. Louis FC. It's his 15th pro goal and now his 6th pro season. Just everybody we talk to speaks so highly of him. Doesn't feel he gets nearly the appreciation he deserves. Dos Santos, he went down. He's struggling to get up a bit. This ball played through. Loro pounced. Got his Puma gloves on it, but he's holding on to his right knee. And conversely, Dos Santos down after that challenge.
Just coming over the weak side for Dos Santos, who's still working his way back from injury, and the cleats come out here and grab him right there, follow through on the right knee, absolutely. Didn't mess up the hair, he'll be just fine.
That's true. You wonder if that's a water-based product or...
Has to be. Can't risk the burning in the eyes. Not 26 minutes into a game.
Slide through on Dos Santos, and Dos Santos the one who's whistled. Mel going stride for stride.
It's a bit of a peculiar decision here.
Tell me how you really feel, Steven Dos Santos.
See the ball coming up over the top, and I guess, no, I don't see it personally. I mean, from the referee's angle, he could argue that maybe Dos Santos is leaning in, but I don't see that.
For you, is that a foul either way?
Well, it's a foul on Loudoun, absolutely, on Steven Dos Santos, because he takes him out of his path. He's making a move on the ball, an attacking move at that. I mean, I'm calling a foul anywhere on the field, let alone the fact that he's got an opportunity with space in front of him. So, but that's one of the things, a lot of time fans at home, when they're watching a match, they see that and go, how is it possible the referee gets it that wrong? It's actually quite simple in this situation. You know, you're taught as a referee, you're basically on a pivot point where you're running a diag. Of course, there's going to be fluctuation off of that path. But as you watch your screen right now, the upper right corner to the bottom left corner is really the path that they're going to be running. So as he's cutting back across, he's seeing the exact run that Dos Santos is making. And even though the defender goes to ground, he's seeing Dos Santos lean into it. So it's not the right decision, but you can understand why the decision is made.
But if it goes that way, Devin, are you brandishing a card, and if so, what color?
No, I'm not giving a card at all.
Okay.
It's possible to, and let's remember this, referees, it's okay to call a foul in the final third without giving someone a yellow or throwing them out of the stadium. I'm not playing anymore. Let's get away from that.
You can stay in the stadium.
Just not on the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Bolivar. Downs. Dambrot after it. This is recovered by Downs. Back heel through traffic. Di Pietro rolling this over once more, and that's one trick too many makes this exceedingly difficult for Loudoun now. The Rowdies have conceded just 15 goals this year. Put another way, Loudoun and Red Bull are 7th and 8th in the Atlantic Division. Back heel through, Bolivar, the angle too tight. Tried to turn off the ball, both sides appealing. This will be a corner. Red Bull and Loudoun have conceded 78 goals. The other 6 teams in the division have given up 140.
Don't look at me for the sum of all fears, because you're staring at what my reaction is.
All right, Devin, let's try percentages.
Here it is.
Corner. Speared straight up. Hosu by Guinzotti. Streaking forward, Sadavia. Header snapped down, second effort, Smith.
They're relentless, Loudoun United. Just notice the jerseys, though, from the Rowdies. They don't panic. It's actually an extremely smart header by Doherty to push this to the outside. A lot of people are probably wondering, well, why does he gift it right back to the opposition? That's not the case at all. He's moving it away from the most dangerous area. And in doing so, although the ball does present itself in the form of an opportunity, a ball whipped in, you're still sitting on 7v3, and they get lucky that they get a chance out of it. That's the great vision you get out of the players in the field for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, where even though they're still an offensive threat, it doesn't come at a cost. You maintain your composition, try and pick your moments where you can get stuck in, win those 50-50 balls, and then go again.
Referee gesturing. Water break here. High quality H2O. 32nd minute turning to the 33rd. Rowdies with a 1-goal lead. And Lewis Hilton feathered and lethal. Go-ahead goal. Let's talk some upcoming schedules, get you caught up on where these teams are headed. As Lewis Hilton hydrating with some top quality Gatorade. At RGV, that's a rarity to see Loudoun cross over to the Rio Grande Valley. And they'll host Charlotte in what's going to be a busy, and ultimately it needs to be an extraordinarily fruitful month for Loudoun to get back into it.
It's a very rough stretch, and to be fair, they're going to run into some teams that are looking for a bounce back. RGV up and down in the mountain. Charlotte Independence trying to fight their way back into playoff contention. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds neck and neck with Tampa Bay Rowdies and Miami FC, and then Hartford, who struggled in form recently as well. Miami, the only one on that list who really isn't really searching for that much right now. They're just going about their business, continuously moving up the divisional rankings.
But what about the Rowdies? Home against Oakland. Al Lang playing host to the Roots for the first time. Oakland's starting to get it together a little bit.
Starting to. It's going to take time, though. Oakland Roots, seems like the entire deck was stacked against them. They're getting back into things. Their old friends, the Charleston Battery. What amazing matchups they had in 2020. Red Bull 2, Atlanta United 2. You would think that those would be guaranteed points, but who knows? The way this season is going. Atlanta United 2 fighting their way back in the Central. That division has no clue what's going on.
Devin drinks, what is this? Essentia? Overachieving H2O? Or are you drinking the Germex?
I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying that my water's better than yours.
I think the fastest way to leave this broadcast is by saying I'm currently drinking Red Bull.
There goes your sponsor.
True enough. Accra. Dalgard. This is right out of the hydration break. Dalgard! Forda. A big forearm. Green. Pops out here. Teed up. Hilton. More of a Marriott man.
Sebastian Dalgard does all the difficult things, and then the easy stuff you would think would be so much simpler than he makes it. Great speed. Look at the change of direction. The explosion over to the right side. Just put this in the bottom corner away from the goalkeeper, or pull it all the way back across your body. It's still a difficult save by Jermaine Forta because of how much pace is on it, but it's right at him.
Sadavia just picked up a yellow card for Loudoun as well. That's his 3rd and 7 starts. The player they played on came back, good refereeing. Bolivar blaring through. Doesn't have a ton of support, but he steps by and keeps it alive. Bolivar. August is USL Supporters Month, and we want to hear from you. Visit uslchampionship.com/supporters-month for more information on how you can get involved and have a chance to be featured as the supporter of the week. Ball forward here for Loudoun. It's a rip that deflects from Cu Di Pietro. Trying to give something back to the supporters in that moment. Corner.
Love the fact that it's just before the break at halftime. These guys are starting to swing again. There was this lull right after the goal. Things slow down. Tampa Bay Rowdies looking like they want to really assert their dominance within this race, but not to be outdone. Loudoun United will continue to punch back here. They are a ticking time bomb. The problem is how long is that fuse? It's the question in each and every match. Can they grab one before halftime?
They grabbed 2 in the final minutes of the first half against Indy 11 that sparked a 4-1 win. Green. Rowdies coming off a bit of a listless 0-0 draw, one that ultimately the Rowdies will probably be okay with on the road against the side now leading the division. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, but any points you can take away from home against a rival like Pittsburgh are a win in some eyes. Green. This is such a different game than playing Pittsburgh if you're Tampa Bay.
I got to get in the way here. What kind of shoes is Ryan Martin wearing?
The best kind.
I got to give him a call. Those were beautiful. Couldn't tell from the angle if it was a yellowish hue or white. I know we're off topic. I'm sorry, but my man's got some style on his eye. He's always got the best hats, first off.
They look
look. Oh, suede? Legend.
Maybe
yellow bottom.
Lorenzo.
Brown suede, yellow bottom. If we could just get him to lift the cuff and see the socks, match made in heaven.
This ball deflect away. Well cleared. I have to think if we radioed down, he would definitely say no.
He's not doing it. Oh, well taken there.
Downs. Sadavia. Good spell of possession, broke down, self-inflicted.
How interesting is it that Camarnie Smith has fancied himself coming down in?
You got a commentary on the style of Neil Collins too, or are you sticking to Ryan Martin? And
first of all, I wasn't talking about the style of Ryan Martin. I was talking about his shoes. and what were accented by his socks and the great hats that he wears around that beautiful brim of his. Neil Collins is consistently on the best dressed list in the entire USL Championship. So don't come at me with that, all right?
Okay. Okay.
There's about 25 people on that list, by the way.
True enough.
That's an interesting non-call by the referee. Little tackle from behind.
Certainly so. And the strongest jaw list as well. Neil Collins.
He's going to get rewarded for it, too.
Well, he's certainly unhappy, and play does come back. It belongs to the Rowdies. And talking to from the fourth official and how quickly he's turned to a smile. He was a center back. His coach relieved of his duties. Conversation with ownership.
He's just trying to protect his players here, and this is a rough challenge from behind. I can't blame him for getting involved.
You can still tell he has a little bit of that captain in him.
Little?
Even as the manager.
Little?
A lottle.
I'd have no quarrels whatsoever with throwing him onto my back line to lead tomorrow.
You and I were chatting, could it possibly be 100 games? It's not that we don't believe the PR staff at Tampa Bay, but it almost defies logic. He's gotten to the 100-game mark in his young managerial career. Dumped over the top. That's about as good as Green could ultimately hope. That wasn't Green, rather. It was DeShields.
His role has been interesting tonight because of the tendency, as you see again now. Not that it's anything groundbreaking for the Rowdies, but the overload on the inside, dropping Sebe Guenzati. Just off that right shoulder of Jan Ekra, and in the front to the left of Jordan Doherty. Dos Santos alone a lot, and as he floats over to that side, he's really stuck in between Timmy Mel and Michael DeShields. If he goes even further, then you have to deal with Robbie Dambrot. So it's 2v1s, it's 3v1s. And defensively for Michael DeShields, to be fair, it's been a bit easier than you would think. Less numbers moving forward when they have attacked that side. So a lot of one-offs for him, just passing players side to side. Never hurts as a center back when maybe you're not busy all 90 minutes, though that's a foul.
Shields strolls back, first-round pick, 5th overall by DC United in the 2021 Super Draft. Yeah, that's right, it's not a throw.
Well, that's definitely a little signal from the training ground that they've been working on.
No one has recorded more chances created from dead ball situations this season than Hilton, but this taken quickly by Loudoun, and perhaps it could go the other way. Bolivar off of Ekra. Sadavia quickly reverses his tone with the referee closing in. Two of the best in the East clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview September 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Nothing vanilla about that game. It's going to be two teams getting after it from start to finish.
Hartford Athletic is going to be going after him there.
Yeah, Louisville top team in the Central, and Hartford team that won the group last year with Pittsburgh in it. Dev, I know you can't wait for that game.
I can't necessarily say it's a retribution game for Hartford Athletic given what went on in the playoffs last year, but there's a level of respect that they are still looking to attain, and I can understand that. Quick start, maybe not necessarily given their due, and then recently really struggled for any sort of result Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Miami FC, Colorado Springs, Tampa Rowdies, of course, involved in that. And then most recently, Billy Forbes decided to call himself into action. Nice little brace on the weekend.
Hilton a header, still now for Loudoun. You'll have highlights from that game coming up at the half as well as we get you around the league results. It's a dish of sorts. But Devin let me play this time. DeShields. Sadavia. Sue slips ahead, back heel, brilliant Green. Was able to get that off Guillen, and right now the Rowdies goalkeeper, Evan Laurel, trying to wake up his back line. Get everybody forward.
It just feels like there's too much ball movement just at the top of the 18. I can't blame him. Now, you don't want to overstep yourself and overcommit, allow space in behind, but at the same point in time, you can't allow this to continuously go side to side in such close proximity to the net.
Stoppage time is presented by Ortho Virginia. Another minute and change ahead. Turned over here to Hilton. DeShields had to get that right, and he did not entirely get it right.
Got a side with Robbie Dambrot here. Just Ryan Martin on the outside. Good little step in by Lewis Hilton, and as he springs this attack going the other way. Does he get the player before he gets the ball? That's the real question. That's a good tackle. Argument from the referee is going to be he comes from a negative position, but you time that out really well if you're Michael DeShields.
Luis Arroyo's having a day so far. Neither side happy with the referee. May well be the last kick of the half as they're ahead on the other end of it from Hilton. Hilton had the goal. Can he add something here late? Header, stand back across it in! Forrest Lasso! As the first half expires. And a horrific dance move to go with it. 2-0. And that's the end of the first half, and the Rowdies do it in style.
Set him up, knock him down. Lewis Hilton buries his first in a Rowdies jersey in the 23rd minute, and then the assist maker, the kingmaker, all the way to the back post of Forrest Lasso, who bags his first in 2021. Always the focal point, has recently been the pivot, finally knocks one down.
Halftime is presented by Segra, and it is coming up. Rowdies 2, Loudoun 0. Hilton a goal and an assist. The pressure at times was stifling from Ryan Martin's Loudoun United, but the Rowdies score 2 magnificent goals. We'll take a look around the big results from the weekend and so much more when we return.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
In the heart of DC's wine country lies a retreat and conference center like no other, where award-winning chefs create signature dishes using local farms, where the wine is poured just miles from the vines and the beer is brewed right next door, where challenge courses invigorate and meeting rooms inspire, where the welcome starts at check-in and continues throughout your stay. Like Loudoun United, the National Conference Center builds world-class teams in the place we all call home. Saddle up.
Welcome back to Loudoun County, Virginia. Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies meeting in the Atlantic Division. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr back with you. It's time to give you some Little Devin's Pizza, hot and ready. It's the dish of sorts. Colorado Springs played Charlotte this weekend, and there were several goals scored by both sides.
We're 12 minutes into the piece, and I haven't spoken, and I love it.
Seconds.
It's a joke because they're in the 12th minute, and that's the first goal of the game.
Okay.
And guess who? Sylvain Marveau. This guy's performance was next level, by the way, but the back and forth was insane. What's this guy's name? Roll the R's. Rabere. 19 appearances on the season, 19 goals. He's going to break the record, Mike. It's going to happen. 4 minutes later, Andre Lewis. Top bins? No. Bottom corner? Yes.
Don't you think Christians is just over there like Fuchs?
Gripes. 2-1. Palomino. Table for one. Marcelo Palomino, table for one. I'm here. Ha ha. 2-2, Charlotte Independence. Pretty good strike. Nice hold-up play by Dan Kelly, by the way. Doesn't score. Right? No, he scores goals. Irvin Parra. Petty. Thrust. 3-2. You want to jump in here?
This kind of looks like our old Rocket League games right here, doesn't it?
I mean, dear Lord, that's some kind of defending from the goalkeeper. And when I say some kind, it's not hot, it's not spicy. It's just raw and terrible. Send it back. Waiter, this is made poorly. This, however, is not. This is piping hot, fresh, ready to eat, warm, sultry, smooth. And you did tip the server. 3-3. Charlotte Independence, Colorado Springs, Switchbacks FC. East meets West.
And Memorial Stadium got all it could handle in this one. Galena scores the finale. They'll split the points. No one goes home with 3 other than the goals. Let's skip ahead to Miami taking on Hartford. No more jokes about Miami FC. They are the Miami FC. They look like it. They play like it. This is a huge win for them.
They've been on a quality run, and Billy Forbes comes on, grabs the brace. They have taken down so many different teams within the division in such impressive fashion, Mike. This team, remember, going all the way back to that first game against the Tampa Bay Rowdies, they lost at Al Lang, could have easily won that match. The ball just didn't bounce their direction. It does this time. Hartford Athletic, they're not wheeling, they're not dealing. They are struggling. 1 win in their previous 6. Down to 6th in the Atlantic Division.
Well, we got to watch plenty of Billy Forbes. That's why I always keep a camera on that man. You could say the same about Pittsburgh. 4-1 over Atlanta United 2. Cicerone early, a good response by Atlanta, but Pittsburgh put it out of reach.
Understand that Russell Cicerone decided that he wasn't going to score 1 goal, Mike, and that he wasn't going to score 2. Lucky number 3 for Russell Cicerone. Hat trick for the man from Pittsburgh. Actually, he's not really from Pittsburgh. He just plays there now. Little geography lesson. As Kevin Egan, our friend from Atlanta United and SiriusXM would say, it was done and dusted. One of my favorite ones. I love the way he says it.
I say that too.
Done and dusted.
But he doesn't like the way I say it. That's Mateus scoring.
Apparently he had an Olympico that was called back. That's what I heard. Just saying. Could have been a closer game. That's all.
Okay. Williamson here. 26th minute. And then, Atlanta just gets Cicerone.
This is what happens when there's space on the backside and Russell Cicerone is in a one-on-one situation. Goals. Goals win games, Mike.
I mean, this goal literally,
wins the game at 4-1.
Yeah.
That's the game winner right there, 4th goal of the night.
Well, this is the 4th goal of the night. It was about 30 minutes later.
His 3rd, though. Goal. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that makes more sense. That's the game winner right there, 4-1. Pittsburgh Riverhounds over Atlanta United 2, 4-1. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, by the way, interesting journey. It was up, it was down, 2 losses in a row. Back at it.
We've got more coming up when we return here in Loudoun County.
Yeah. I'm a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Tees it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal! And Lou City double their money!
And how sweet the sound at Lynn Family Stadium.
In the heart of DC's wine country lies a retreat and conference center like no other, where award-winning chefs create signature dishes using local farms, where the wine is poured just miles from the vines and the beer is brewed right next door, where challenge courses invigorate and meeting rooms inspire, where the welcome starts at check-in and continues throughout your stay. Like Loudoun United, the National Conference Center builds world-class teams in the place we all call home. Saddle up.
If you were injured tomorrow, the ER may not be your best option. At Ortho Virginia, we can treat urgent orthopedic injuries without an appointment and diagnose non-urgent injuries virtually through video visits. Take the first step toward recovery, because stronger starts here.
Tonight's halftime presentation is brought to you by Segra. Clouds beginning to funnel over Leesburg, Virginia right now. The lights are on, still picturesque in Loudoun County. Tampa Bay a 2-0 lead. Here's a look at the scoreboard from the weekend that was. We're keeping this primarily Eastern Conference focused. What stands out?
The fact that El Paso and RGV are in the West.
I said for the most part.
Oh, I thought you said we're keeping it just East.
No.
This is what happens when you're around someone so long, you just switch off.
Yeah, I
stop
see that.
listening. It's much better. OKC and Louisville 0-0. That's a good win by FC Tulsa on the road, by the way.
Absolutely it is.
Fantastic win. Now follow it up. Get another win back-to-back for them. I'd like to see that team turn around second half of the season.
Here's the upcoming schedule. Later tonight on ESPN Plus, Austin and New Mexico. Tomorrow's off league-wide. Tulsa, Memphis, and Oakland, Phoenix on Wednesday. So just block off 4.5 hours of your time.
I am all for that FC Tulsa 901 FC game. I just said FC Tulsa, can you follow it up with a back-to-back? 901 FC went on a run on their own. But now 2 draws in a row. They get a win. They're right back in playoff contention.
Okie doke. Tampa Bay 2, Loudoun 0 at halftime. Plenty of highlights to show you from the first half. When we return to halftime, presented by Segra.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
A look inside Segra Field. Tampa Bay a 2-0 lead. Let's take a look at first half highlights as the Rowdies taking advantage of some Loudoun miscues. We begin in the 23rd minute. This is, no, it's not Guinzotti, it's Hilton.
Set piece specialist Lewis Hilton steps up, sticks this in the bottom of the corner. Hard to believe that that man, as important as he's been for the Tampa Bay Rowdies over the past 2 seasons, that's the first goal in a Tampa Bay Rowdies uniform. Great job by
guarding
Lewis
in.
Hilton.
Yeah.
What a ball. You know, what a ball that he then whips in after the goal all the way to the back post. You know it's coming. You know that they're trying to find Forrest Lasso on the back post, and yet it's a mistake by Forda. He tracks too close to the near post. There's not enough marking. You can't allow him to go up and not challenge him. The Lumberjack sticks it in the back of the goal for a 2-goal lead at halftime.
Halftime stats are brought to you by Segra. And here's the thing with Loudoun. Statistically not out of this game by any stretch. It's the scoreline.
No, but understand that it's a team that isn't overly efficient as they move from their own defensive spots forward anyway, so it's going to have to be even better here in the second half. Everybody knows that they're going to provide themselves chances, but the question is, can you close those out? This team only has a conversion rate 10% coming into the match. That's lowest of the league for a team that has one of the highest XG ratings, expected goals, in the entire championship.
Well, the chance here is come on Loudoun, and we're underway in the second half. Rowdies 2, Loudoun 0. Loudoun made a change with Darluis Paz replacing Michael DeShields. Very attack-minded change, to be sure. Sub brought to you by Segra. Comes over to Downs.
That's an easy little tweak for him. You just slide Mel and Sedavia onto the back line next to each other, dropping a real simple 4-2-3-1. That's the idea behind it anyway. What you can imagine the rotation would be for Ryan Martin, though. He's one of the best at throwing a curve into his system. You know, for a team that tries to replicate in a lot of areas of what DC United is doing, you'll see them mimic what goes on there with the MLS squad. He gives his players all the tools to succeed, but he makes them do it outside of their comfort zone. So you'll see a lot of players moving out of their normal spots, drifting into a 3, rotating into a 5, bumping guys off the back line into the midfield. So an out-and-out marking back all of a sudden becomes one of the most instrumental pieces on the wing in a 3-man midfield.
For the end line, this is a good start from Tampa Bay, opening 90 seconds. Making life difficult on Loudoun United.
The question will be as to whether or not they'll flatten out the midfield, or they'll push 3 up high and play with 3 on the front line as opposed to 1 striker. And 2 boys on the wings trying to play down into the channels.
Dalgard will roll this back. Smith. Di Pietro. Swung that nicely. Service launched across, falls Downs! Well, the whistle blows. There's abject shock from Downs. All the while, Loro covered a ton of ground in front of goal, too.
There's a little jovial grin on the sideline by Ryan Martin. It's not because of the buildup. It's by the questionable call on the referee on the backside. Should have stuck this into the back of the net if you're Nicky Downs, and a quality save by Evan Loro. But either way, saved by the whistle if you're the Tampa Bay Rowdies somehow.
Well, if you're Loudoun, how many great chances are you going to get against the Rowdies? Historically, the number is low. Put simply, Evan Loro has had very little to no work to do the last couple games. Rowdies are 3 unbeaten, including the draw against Pittsburgh, 2 wins prior to that. Getting back on a winning track, 11-6-1 on the year, 34 points. Very few teams they're looking up to league-wide right now. But one's in their division, Pittsburgh. That's a hardy challenge by Accra. Pass.
Good move.
For Smith, still alive, Downs. Pass with strength. Pass, flicks it through Bolivar.
This is some kind of perseverance for the Venezuelan, who just muscles his way through the center of the park of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Lewis Hilton have a seat, and then the cutback across. Great footwork and the spin off. Dropping that right shoulder by Giovanni Bolivar, trying to pick out the far post. Well closed down by Evan Laurel.
Turned over to the Rowdies. They have recovered. They initially lost it. Dos Santos pursued. Guanzati. Accra.
A little surprised at the lack of change, to be fair, for United with the addition of Haas into the team here in the second half. Michael DeShields sits down, thought they were going to rotate immediately into a 4, and that's not the case. They're still sticking with 5 at the back. The difference is they've brought Kamarni Smith into a wingback position. He's usually sitting in a much more advanced role. That's how it was for him at Clemson under Mike Noonan, and that's how it's been the majority of the season here for Loudoun United. But given the fact that he will have a lot more room to run, in theory, getting in behind Connor Antley, that's going to be a fun matchup on the left flank.
Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, Brian Dunseth, and USL All Access with Devin and only Devin. Ball flicked across. Contact from Loro. And now the whistle arrives. It is a penalty. Loudoun can get back into this.
Evan Laurel doesn't agree. There is contact, and the argument here by Laurel is that the ball is too far away for him to even make a play on the ball. Watch the tail end. There's the touch. Grabs the left leg. Not exactly sure what Evan Laurel is arguing here. He grabs the striker. Gets the touch first. Takes him out. It's a frustrating rule in the sense that the ball's moving away from goal and the threat is over, but you can't make that kind of contact and expect to get away with it. Kudu Pietro can close the gap here. And instead, they're giving it to Timmy Mell. I'm shocked.
Kudu Pietro has 3 goals this year. Mell is yet to score, but he captains the side. One wonders if he's looking to exhibit his leadership now. Timmy Mell to get Loudoun back into it. Loro points back to the goalkeeper. Points back to the referee. What a save. And wait a moment. Referee is having words.
It's just for back talk after the save. Evan Laurel barking orders back at our referee.
Corner kick presented by Loudoun Economic Development. The service punctured outside the 18. Downs.
I'm really surprised they didn't go with Kudu Pietro there. He's taken him before. He is their set piece man who steps up from a lot of dead ball situations, and you just assume. What's the rule though, Mike? You never assume. And instead you have your center back step up to have a go.
And now it's the Rowdies finally dispossessed. A wonderful run forward. The collision, it continues through Bolivar. Pass. Well, if you're Tampa Bay, you need to find a way to get the air out of the ball, and soon. Loudoun's got a whole new lease on life. Smith. pass. A foul on the back of Ekra. Mel denied by Laurel.
This is a very good save by Evan Laurel because it's hit with a decent amount of pace. The problem is not exactly tucked away in that bottom corner. Telegraphs it. Timmy Mel does. Tries to use those hips coming back across his body. Well done by the goalkeeper.
It's a tough one for Mel, to say the least. Bolivar 1 for 2 this year. Dambrot 0 for 1. Pass 0 for 1. The team is now 1 for 5 converting penalties this year.
Watch out the little dust up that you have on the inside of the field. This is rough between the two of them, and there's no malintent. Watch the follow through, the reach out and then underneath. Dos Santos grabs it right in the face and undercut Sasu.
Set piece here for Tampa Bay. Bounces up simply to Forda. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe, welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more, uslsoccer.com / forever-proud. Loudoun into possession, 57th minute. The Rowdies scoring on the last touch of the first half. Another with about 11 minutes to go in the half. A free kick from Hilton opened the scoring. A free kick from Hilton off the head of Lasso. Perhaps concluding the scoring, certainly so in the first half.
Jordan Doherty much deeper here in the second half in terms of the defensive shape. He's really riding the right shoulder of Jan Ecker in the first, and instead he's shifting a bit more towards the side of Connor Antley. And interestingly enough, has a starting position much higher than that of Sebastian Dalgard, but much like you see of Kamarni Smith in the left wing back spot for Loudoun United. Dalgard just making the most out of the meat that's provided to him on that left, making a meal out of everything. Just skating by players.
Let's take a moment to remind you that this corner kick is brought to you by Loudoun Economic Development, a team that's always in your corner. Corner here for Loudoun. This will skip through. Scarlett.
Easy here. Did he catch his head? This is a rough challenge. Just hope he's all right. You see him go up over the back. This was really close to the box.
It is outside, and Well, you could argue that's because Pass himself was outside. Scarlett leapt from inside the penalty area. And this second look may give you a different view of how close the Rowdies were to conceding a second penalty.
Watch the initial contact as well, Mike.
Well, the referee just pulled out an entire can of Ref Edge. He's gesturing as if to say, folks, it doesn't work. There are subs coming. Gabera and Sergi to come in for a suddenly lively Loudoun. End of the night for Sadavia.
And entering the match, number 14, Tyler Guevara, and number 24, Samson Scaragay.
Subs are brought to you by Segra. And a set piece just outside the penalty area, sliced toward the goal line. Downs came out as well. Lawrence Wyke is going to replace Jan Ekra, sub brought to you by Segra.
And entering the match, number 27, Lawrence White.
Let's take a look back at just how close this was to a penalty from Jordan Scarlett a moment ago, Dev.
I have the understanding, Mike, of where the initial contact is.
That's in. Oh, that's. His feet are in the box.
If you call it, though, you better be very sure that it's in the box. And even on that replay, it doesn't matter where the feet are, it's where the contact occurs. It's different. If I've got my right foot behind me and my left foot's out, and you hit the left, and the right's in the box, the foul is outside the box. You've clipped my left foot outside the box.
Boss.
You can wince all you want, I promise you.
What people don't know is Devin and I have, we call him Deep Throat.
He's getting that video for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Dos Santos with this contact. Let's take one more look here. Where's the principal point of contact?
Yeah, so his back's inside the, see when you slow it there, now he's inside the box. That's a penalty. From there, slowed down, you can see it. When we saw it real time and he's leaned forward, that's where my mind sees the contact.
Initially, I think you thought it was head-to-head.
I thought it was head-to-head, leaning exactly up over the top and head outside the box.
I'm no longer wincing. We're on the same page.
There you go.
If all conflicts could be handled like this, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, just read a different book.
Just vehemently disagree and shrug each other off.
Bingo.
Into the penalty area. This is going to roll all the way through to Loro, who's more than willing to play with this ball at his feet. Well, there's good news and there's bad news, Devin. Speaking of conflict, the Tampa Bay Rowdies have suggested that my commentary on Forrest Lasso's dancing is below the belt. More on this development in a moment. Pass unloads. There's Laurel.
I can't wait to see the way that they're going to work themselves through the inside here for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Lawrence White, who has officially made his return from injury for a couple of games now. Paired with Hilton and Doherty, you would have to imagine that this is going to flatten out at times like it is right now, and then also Hilton dropping underneath. The three of them play off of each other very well. The question is how crowded is it going to be on the inside with Gabera, Cudipietro, and Hasu in pursuit?
Let's take a quick look back here because I already put myself on the record. Devin, if you'd like to join me, this is Forrest Lasso after his goal. Stank face. That previous challenge results in a Oh, Sue yellow card as well.
We know he's a gymnast and he jumps the boards. We know he's a lumberjack and he cuts everything down. He can score goals. Great at tackles. Defender of the year. I suggest the men in the front office, Lee Cohen, invest in some dance lessons. I'm just saying it. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm not willing to put myself on the line with the tweet and say that they're good.
Well, they didn't say it was good. They said you can dance if you want to.
You can also leave your friends behind.
True enough.
And that's going to happen if he's out on the dance floor like that. He'll be riding solo. Good ball.
Floated forward. Antley pirouettes through the air, and the whistle arrives. And Antley leaping up. Dambrot caught him. Dambrot's arguing to the AR here.
Actually wanted Connor Antley to attack this ball, and as he slows down, you do run the risk of getting tangled up here. That's exactly what goes on with Robbie Dambrot on the left flank. A little checkup off the pitch as well. On this turf field, Mike, the ball just loses all the steam from underneath it.
Notebooks open for Ryan Martin. Conversation ongoing between Neil Collins and the fourth official, and Antley wincing right now. The athletic trainer checking on player who achieved so much in USL League One Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. Came into India last year. So impressive on the transfer from South Georgia Tormenta, and this year a perfect complement for the Rowdies.
The first player from League One to the championship with a transfer fee involved.
And look, the rumor is it wasn't a lot of money, but that's
money.
Really not the point.
And it's history. It's what needs to happen more often.
$5,000 was the initial report, and it really doesn't matter what the number was. It was the fact the number was paid.
No, I've talked to you a couple of times about some players, whether it be from Union Omaha or Greenville and a couple other squads that could make their way into teams in the championship.
We were on Sirius XM earlier this year, and we were talking about potential trades and transfers, and you sent someone to League One to get the outside back at Union Omaha. Ball floated forward here, and a header away. Still for the Rowdies, 67 minutes in. Hilton, well done. Doherty, can of corn. Forta left the line. Off target from Dos Santos. I'm not going to say who you sent down, but you might as well bring up who you're going to.
You don't want to know who I sent down.
I know who you sent down. I'm trying to preserve someone's dignity.
So does the rest of the nation if they would have listened.
This is why we leave the heavy lifting to Lee Cohen and Stuart Mayers, and it's not for us. Well, this is a good build-up off the pressure here from Tampa Bay into the penalty area and rolling across the face of goal. Dalgard. He went from JUCO to Union Omaha.
You want me to say? Right, I'll say Dami Viader.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'll say it.
Okay.
Ilya Illich, by the way.
Okay.
There it is. I thought it made sense for both teams. Look, Ilya Illich has struggled with his surgeries to get back into things, to bring him down and find an attacking midfielder that bridges the central location for Union Omaha, who get so flat. I understand teams in the USL, or I should say fans in the championship, don't necessarily get to see League One teams all the time, but that's a very traditional 4-4-2 system under Jay Mims. And you get a attack-minded outside back, pair him into that three-back system for New Mexico United. Sounds good to me.
Makes sense. Free kick belongs here, it appears, to Loudoun. For what's worth, Union Omaha is 2 points off the pace in League One. Game in hand on Chattanooga Red Wolves. found their way to the top spot. All the while, Greenville struggling a bit. Very uncharacteristic. Still time for them to get it turned around. They'll come back, and a free kick is taken as quickly as Loudoun could try and get it. It's not going to count here, however. Dambrot was trying to take that, perhaps because he knew his number was going to be on the board. And these are the big guns for Loudoun. Cairo Mustafa and Wahab Akwe as well.
More speed, more problems for the Rowdies down the stretch. Good news, sitting on that 2-0 lead. It is almost impossible to break this team down in general, yet alone the fact that they've got that cushion. They do not concede when out in front.
Akwe for Dambrot, sub brought to you by Segra. Coup di Pietro. Bit of trouble here from Dalgard to get it away. Dalgard stepped in and helped to successfully win it back. Here's Dos Santos, a runaway freight train. Caught by Hosu. In steps Dos Santos, and immediately he was trying to suggest that that was a clean challenge. He stuck his foot between the legs and thought he had gotten that cleanly.
Let's just say both players on either side aren't exactly happy with the way the game's been officiated, but with 20 minutes to go, no matter what team you're on, you got to find a way to calm those emotions, settle things down, and get back to business. This could easily slip away for one, and you could just as simply get right back into a match if you clear your thoughts, put one foot in front of the other.
A trio of subs coming for the Rowdies, and you can guess one of the players coming off because there's not only the noticeable limp, also those shin guards have come off for Connor Antley, who gave just about all he could tonight.
I
4
respect
years
the
at
green,
Mercer, and
respect the green pre-wrap, by the way.
True.
Love that.
True.
You know, in my days, we didn't have all these fancy wraps these kids get to play with.
Toilet paper?
We just had one color wrap, brown. That's it. You got what you wanted. Either that or you had to go tape directly on the skin. It's a good shift for Connor Antley, who, unfortunately, walking off lame. You really hope with the way that the Rowdies have picked up injuries, both at the start of the year and all season long. Seems that door has constantly been rotating, that's not another long-term injury for Neil Collins.
When Zadi comes off, there's Tejada, who's going to get his longest stretch on the field all season. Just his third game making the bench after an early injury. Has only played 7 minutes, a spark plug for the Rowdies. Lakawecki has come on as well. When they're all healthy, Adebayo Smith, M. Kosana, Tejada, Dos Santos, look out. Very few teams in the league, I think, could have that depth in the way the Rowdies play that the Rowdies do.
If and when is really the key words that you want to focus on there.
And they're going to have to figure out what the best combination is up there. So they all bring something pretty noticeably different, don't they? Coup di Pietro. Swings a good-looking ball that Loro claims with ease.
Think about that, too. That's the other argument you're going to have if you're Neil Collins, that you're over halfway this season. You've never had your full team yet. And even though at certain points in time you've had some key pieces, I mean, they're all key pieces. Let's get that out of the way. But even when you've gotten some back, like a Dos Santos, Tejada's still not there. And Kasana's still coming back. Lawrence White coming back from injury. So you don't really know.
Ball lofted out of play from a long way out.
You don't really know what your best combination is up top, what sort of pairings you'd like to bring into the middle. There are 4 players that are penned into this roster. Your goalkeeper and the back 3, and that's it. Now, you can lay favoritism for sure, but think about guys like Juan Tejada, who could really do no wrong in his rookie season that saw 10 goals and 2 assists in 2019. That was a player that you just expected to continue to take steps in 2020. Now, the way the pandemic went, you can lean that direction, absolutely, but then all of a sudden, second appearance on the year. Now, it's injury, I get it, but that's what I'm talking about, where it's so many attacking pieces, and then what does your shape look like as well? Neil Collins admitted to me that, he's still trying to find a way to navigate all of that, Mike, and figure out, just as the opponents are, what's the best look for them tactically.
Haas, a central leading touch, and this will come off of Scarlett back to Laurel.
Think about the makeup of the midfield right now. Doherty, Hilton, White. None of that right there says playmaking to me in terms of a real attack-minded threat. The difference is you just attack in different areas. Now you're more possession-oriented. I mentioned you can flatten out the midfield. Those balls right there out of Lewis Hilton coming from deep, we've seen so many times before, and then you just start to take steps. So you've got the speed. Where's the presence on the outside? You switch Dalgard over. You can still hit the diags into the corner, and then you've got the hold-up play too. So there are so many different options, but what suits you best now and against your opponent?
And I think that's the intriguing part, against your opponent.
Yes.
Because it's going to get really intriguing when the Atlantic starts playing against the Central Division that they've played rarely during the regular season, too. You get to know these teams really well.
I love what Neil Collins said coming out of the Charlotte Independence game. They lose 2-0 back on July 31st, right? And that was the start of that stretch where, okay, well, it's on the backside of the 3 losses. They get the result against Loudoun, and then now we've lost 4 out of 5, right? He said we drew a line in the sand. We had to decide who we wanted to be. Not knowing who you are is a very difficult thing, but understanding that you don't have to be what you want to be. So follow me on this. You don't have to be the team that everybody wants you to be. You just have to be the best for the game in front of you.
Ball across a second time. Guillen appeared to take a knock above the shoulders. He stayed down for a moment and leapt back to his feet to defend. He's one of 3 players on the roster who's yet to miss a minute this year.
You go 15, 20, 25 minutes in a match against the Independents where things start to go south. That doesn't mean that you have to be on the ball the entire time. You can change. And that's one of the next steps that's coming for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That chameleonic nature where they get all the players back. You can tweak the inside. You can still provide lots of options up top. The look is different, but the philosophy remains the same. That starts with your head coach, your general manager. It works its way down through your players. And the good news is they've kept all of these guys together. That's why they're so threatening as well, because the belief is that no matter who's on the field, they can go get a result in whatever fashion that is.
Slide by Green doesn't totally stem off Tampa's forward motion. And the Rowdies will take over now. Tampa Bay Rowdies trying to make quick work of this forward. Now, what would change things a little bit, can you find a way to play in St. Pete throughout this upcoming postseason? Being able to win your division, potentially win the conference in the regular season carries so much weight this year, especially with the postseason being played later than ever before. I can promise you that late November in Pittsburgh or Louisville,
it's a little different.
It sure does. Hartford.
Let's be clear, I'm not playing favoritism here, but I'd rather surf than ski. Let's get that out of the way. Bay Area or not, I'm down for the sun. I'm down for a little tan, and I don't necessarily know if I want to go through hypothermia to call a game. I've been there with you.
Yes.
It's not the most fun thing.
No. No. The USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs to build a pathway to pro soccer by bringing together top local youth talent and helping players transition to their USL senior teams. More information, visit usl-academy.com. Pass. Cabrera. Dancing delicately, which is not something we've seen yet today. Hemko Sana.
There's a tackle.
Tejada. A little room here for Wyke. Wyke just got plowed. Streaking forward, Loudoun. Attempt to clip that back. Guillen was there. It'll continue, however.
Go back and give the yellow card and fuck him up and take him out.
That's one way to say it.
Look at
Green. Green. There's Laurel.
Let's go, Loudoun! Let's go! Come on, Loudoun!
Ball through, Guillen, Laurel. Nothing really seemed to phase Tampa Bay tonight. There were occasional moments of chaos that Loudoun was able to bring in transition moments, but they've quickly recovered and trying to keep a clean sheet here late. Conversely, if you're Loudoun, those transition moments were some of your best. Lawrence Wyke has gone into the book. Lawrence Wyke's former club is sitting in playoff position. I'm not talking about Atlanta United 1. I'm talking about Atlanta United 2.
I see what you did there.
Green. Cabrera. Missed, seeking pass. Wyke. Oh, he can unleash Tejada here. Green, good recovery. Contact from behind. Doherty, the Loudoun players shouting for a yellow card that's unlikely to arrive.
Just some tired legs from Jordan Doherty. United, as this game has progressed, have really spread themselves thin on the back line, trying to find a way back into this match. A lot of numbers on the inside, and for Doherty, just a lot of tracking. Everything is in late arrival.
Delgard playing quite the game. Mel, the hold-up play. This is not a game Lasso usually loses, but there's a whistle and a free kick. This is about 5, maybe 7 yards to the left of where Lewis Hilton scored for Tampa Bay back in the first half.
This is a difficult one always for a center back, Mike, because you've got the attacker right in front of you. You know he's going to try and make a move. So it's the peel either way. So as he starts to lean, where's the presence going to come from? The good news here for Forrest Lasso is the fact that he's got pressure on the right shoulder and he's going to get a little help, but nobody steps in to help him out is the problem. So you almost have to commit. Little one-on-one, look at the arms, the little peel off, and then right there, it's the arms stretched out, that last little punch on the backside of him before Lewis Hilton gets stuck in.
So often it's Coup Di Pietro who takes these, but it's going to be Darluis Paz. If he scores from here, it's going to take something really special. Paz. It's Matthew Serbel coming on, replacing Jordan Doherty. You mentioned maybe some tired legs from Doherty late in this one.
Yeah, that's all it is. The body can only handle so much, and interestingly enough, it was Jordan Doherty and Matt Serbel, and saw a little look by Dalgard coming to the sideline as well, just to get a brief respite. 5 minutes to go for his team. Of course, a little bit of added extra time to be put on there, some stoppage. Any bets?
I'm not wagering anything more than a sugar-free monster for next game. What's the over/under? 3.5?
I'll take the over. And
I think the problem is we're all in agreement pretty much that it's probably 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. I'll take.
Is this Price is Right rules?
No, the over counts. More of an apple juice kind of guy myself.
How fermented is that juice?
I did just discover, you know, that a certain brand out there, and until they respond to my DMs, that's a great ball.
Tejada, was M. Kosana on side? He wasn't.
That's he did a good job of stepping back into an onside position there, Mike. A nice little scoop and score at the end of it. But I just discovered that one of the brands out there actually makes a sparkling apple juice, not cider. It's delightful. It's the perfect amount of carbonation in it. I don't drink carbonated drinks, but this is well worth the trip to your local market. It's no iron brew, but it's for the lads.
M. Kosana got a yellow card for that scoop and score, as he called it. A nice one that didn't count, however. Step in by Wyke. Spoke to Mike Anhauser not too long ago, the head coach of Charleston Battery, about this Loudoun side. Said any team that manages, wow, what a move. Coup Di Pietro right to Laurel. Whichever team takes all 12 points off this Loudoun side in 4 games is going to count themselves really lucky at the end of the year. Charleston's already completed the feat. Tampa Bay trying to make it 9 points of 9 against Loudoun. At the final matchup, the penultimate week of the regular season, October 23rd. Lasso domineering. 2 minutes and an indeterminate amount of stoppage time to go.
You know, as this match has gone on, Mike, with all the changes that they've made, sometimes you run into the disruption of the flow of play, and that seems to be what's taking case. Remember, I told you, you usually get about 60 minutes or so from a team that will chase you, press you, run you into the ground, and ever since we started to see those changes back in the 64th minute, they really haven't maintained the same sort of chemistry that we saw in the first half, and really at the start of the second, that was all those waves of attacks. Of course, the added goal just before halftime didn't really hurt, did it?
Well, for what it's worth, I think when you look back at the expected goals in this game, the scoreline's not going to entirely tell the story, is it?
No, not at all.
The free kick probably doesn't amount to something all that high. Wow, M. Kosana was offside. That ball was a heat-seeking missile from Wyke. And Kosana again narrowly in an offside position.
Rowdies haven't hit the frame in the second half. They have 3 shots on target out of 12, none of which have come in the second half. Loudoun United have. They've done it twice. The numbers are actually quite similar, to be fair. When you look at the amount of opportunities they've had in front of goal, total shots 14 to 12 are actually in favor of Loudoun. Again, for me, it still goes back to what I talked about 10 minutes into the game, Mike. It's their ability to close their chances out. Conversion rate at 10% coming into this match. You just have to be better. And they've had their fair share. Chances that could have been put away. A couple questionable calls that have pushed them away from that. But even then.
Loudoun missing their 4th penalty this year in 5 tries over 4 different players. Ball hit by Ku Di Pietro. Into stoppage time we go. Stoppage time is presented by Ortho Virginia. And wouldn't you know it, 4 added minutes. Ryan Martin, you can see the frustration. His arm dropped after that ball was hit more or less theoretically where he wanted it.
It's easy to look at this Loudoun team and look at the results, Mike, and just think that it's all negative, and
it's not.
Don't think that way at all. You have a skewed vision if you do, because there are other teams that are either affiliated or a 2-team in general around this league that just, they can't touch this team, honestly. I would love to see this team matched up against some of them, and they're going to remain nameless out of respect. But the admiration and utter respect that the boys in these red and white jerseys get from other managers and coaches around this league, it can't be understated. I mean, there are some players right now, I'll name the player, I won't name the teams. Ku Di Pietro, I'd be shocked if he's in a Loudoun jersey next year because of the conversations that I've had of managers that saying, we would love to add him to our team.
Ku Di Pietro, I think Jeremy Garay is certainly in that conversation.
Of course, but his affiliation with DC is already there.
Well, and
the
that's
call
sort
ups,
of the,
like,
right.
Do you keep him? Do you let him go?
Gabara.
You know, that team's already in a rebuilding type phase, so do you want to entrust all of that into, you know, a 19-year-old academy player who's just been made part of, you know, your local homegrown list?
Ahead from Ku Di Pietro! Loro denies Gabera with a sprawling save. And this night, in many ways, belongs to Lewis Hilton and many others, Evan Loro.
That's the other great thing about Loudoun United is they do not stop. The fight is till the end. Evan Loro, well done here that he's this close, because if he's back on his line, he's going to get shielded from that strike. There's a good chance that could have much easier ended up in the back of that. More space to work with. Instead, beautiful presence and great tip up over top of the bar.
Taken on by Tampa Bay. And make no mistake, Devin, there has been another coach in this role before who did not elicit the same fight to the end that Ryan Martin has.
No.
And make no mistake, Ryan Martin, you got to think there's no one more frustrated. His career now 13 wins, 38 losses, and 6 draws.
There's a bigger picture, though.
Absolutely.
And he gets it.
As someone who also works in the academy, you kind of have to be able to look at it both ways. He's, to some extent, taking one for the team from a managerial record standpoint.
This is also the type of team, though, Mike, that if you look historically of
Wyke. Still Tejada. Dancing contact referee.
you look historically of what we've seen around the USL Championship and how that youth development movement started. Think about the Bethlehem Steel.
Brendan Burke,
Think about Brendan Burke and the Bethlehem Steel and what where those players have gone, where he's gone, pushing them up through Philadelphia Union.
Yep.
Young kids that are playing for the national team, the highest level in our country, highest leagues, in our country and the highest leagues around the world. The bigger picture plans out for Loudoun United time and time again. But right here, right now, it's about the Tampa Bay Rowdies exerting their will on the road. Quality 3 points from start to finish for Forrest Lasso and co.
Neil Collins in his 100th game as the Rowdies manager picks up a victory. Lewis Hilton, a goal and an assist. Lasso scores as well, a shutout for Evan Laurel. Let's take a look at tonight's save of the game presented by Segra. Dalgard denied.
I'll take that any day of the week. Any day of the week for Jermaine Forda, because again, could have it been better from Sebastian Dalgard? Absolutely. Still a lot to do here for a goalkeeper that gets absolutely pounded back there. That's a great save by Jermaine Forda at a moment's notice.
Tampa Bay, a 2-0 win. They move level atop the Atlantic Division alongside Pittsburgh. We'll wrap this one up when we return to Loudoun County.
In the heart of DC's wine country lies a retreat and conference center like no other, where award-winning chefs create signature dishes using local farms, where the wine is poured just miles from the vines and the beer is brewed right next door, where challenge courses invigorate and meeting rooms inspire, where the welcome starts at check-in and continues throughout your stay. Like Loudoun United, the National Conference Center builds world-class teams in the place we all call home. Saddle up.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
A little bit of disappointment on this Monday night for the Loudoun United faithful as Tampa Bay barnstorms in to Virginia, picks up a 2-0 win, level with Pittsburgh atop the Atlantic, and the Rowdies are very much back in their groove, 4 unbeaten. With Devin Kerr, Mike Watts, we wrap this one up by taking a look at the full-time highlights brought to you by the National Conference Center. And it begins with a free kick just past half an hour.
Lewis Hilton can flat out hit it. What a set piece by Lewis Hilton from outside of the box. Keeps the goalkeeper guessing. Go right, go left, pick your poison. Chooses the latter, puts them out 1-0. First goal in a Tampa Bay Rowdies uniform. And then Forrest Lasso doing what Forrest Lasso does. They have acrobatic plays on the back post where he just leaves himself out of the theoretical gym. It's a gym, right? Still got to jump somewhere. Great header. His first goal of 2021. That is all they would need, by the way. 2 goals in the back of the net for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. There would be some fireworks, though. Evan Laurel off his line. You could shake, rattle, and roll your way back to the line, buddy. It's a penalty, and he would make amends. Bottom corner, Timmy Mel saved Evan Laurel. Great penalty save. Little chatterbox on the tail end of it for the referee. Keeps the clean sheet, keeps the donuts. Forrest Lasso and Krispy Kremes. Let's see them all.
Full-time match stats, 16 shots to 13 Loudoun. I'm excited to see the XG on this game when it eventually comes, Devin, but a chance for your final thoughts.
It's just another one of those ones where Loudoun couldn't capitalize on the opportunities in front of them. They weren't the better team by any means, but they still had chances. Tampa Bay Rowdies, they were efficient. 3 shots on target, 2 end up in the back of the net. Once you get your lead, Mike, they're the best in the business at conceding nothing. They'll see the game out. They'll be happy. On the road, 3 points, well deserved.
Tampa Bay next against Charlotte at home August 28th. Loudoun goes away to RGV. They'll see Charlotte September the 8th. For our entire Vista WorldLink NEP crew led by producer Karina Dolan, director Jonathan Tellicher, Manny Simone, Hannah Reyes, Devin Kerr alongside. Mike Watts saying so long as Forrest Lasso shakes his groove thing. Lewis Hilton and Evan Laurel magnificent. 2-0. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.